Yeah, not a great deal preconceived. I've had a few thoughts as to what I'd like to achieve this morning, but I believe here, I come around the corner one day and a guy was exiting with a couple with one German Shepherd, and the fucker jumped up on me in a playful manner, but it still scared the shit out of me. So feeling a bit ridiculous at the moment. I've also walked across here and had one of those little chili birds or honey eaters fucking bomb dive me. I believe that was on a couple of occasions as well. So what this is about is trying to not prove, but how my mind operates. It's not fluid like a regular person's, in the sense that all the memories that I've had this morning in regards to, trying to contribute have been about this particular time frame, or whatever you want to fucking call it. But anyway, here somewhere, I believe it was just here, there was a car parked and it got towed away, and then it got put back there, and then this Sheila, she's in my mind at the moment, really frightened and distressed. I suspect she'd had a bit of trauma in her life, and she looked really vulnerable. And I got to thinking over a period of time, that she may be someone's daughter. Oh, well, that's pretty fucking obvious, but someone that I knew from my past daughter. And yeah, David Cons to be exact. And I guess this is moving faster than what my mind can keep up. The other day I come down here, and in this particular car park, a lady got out of it and then back in, or motioned to get out and then got back in. And the number plate was JT. And I think I shared the other day that it looked as though she was hanging out, or she may have this kind of ability as well. Somewhat psychic. I don't really know. But anyway, in regards to that young female that looked really distressed, I saw her mother out at what I believe it was her mother in the Lifeline shop. I hadn't seen her for 25 years or something along those lines, and it looked as though she had a nose job. And I got the impression that they were living out there anyway. And I can't go into specifics. It's all just fucking hypothetical. So but that's how my mind works, in the sense that it gets fragments of information and then builds upon that, or tries to slot them in somewhere to give them some sort of meaning. I don't believe that I am anything exceptional or extraordinary, and I'm just open to the fact that it may be possible that I have some sort of psychic ability. I wouldn't say it's outstanding or anything along those lines. It'd be just the same as regular people do, except that they experience either warmth or cold in regards to it, whereas I get suspended, so to speak. you know, that instance where the lady motioned to get out of the car and then got back in, you know, and you know, I got to thinking later on that day that she may have been hanging out and waiting for a delivery or something along those lines. But it was just odd, you know. I couldn't, you know, just I caught it out of the corner of my mind, of my eye, you know. So and I think you know, I typed into that chat room, you know, what else I experienced that day. So I guess I'm hoping to reveal a little bit of that as I mosey on downtown. And a few of the other things that, you know, I've been playing, so to speak, or trying to make sense of, or trying to give them some kind of purpose, you know, because I think that's the idea around memories, is to give them some kind of purpose. You know, but once again, you know, I have instances in my mind, you know, where I was feeling good about myself and I seem to have isolated that, in the sense that whether it's self-preservatory, self-preservative, or just the fact that I can now acknowledge that, you know, those kinds of experiences were stellar in nature, and that you know, I seem to have, you know, isolated them, in the sense that, you know, I don't want to experience that kind of affect anymore, you know, because it leads to dissociation, you know, where I become suspended. I derealise, you know, I get swept up in perfection, and it's exceptional and extraordinary, but I asphyxiate as well, in the sense that I don't become conscious of the fact that, you know, my body is still alive. It's as though it's preserved, so to speak, in the sense that, you know, I rejoice rather than a full-on bodily experience, you know, where I feel relieved, in the sense that, you know, the feeling or sensation arises, and, you know, like when individuals see someone and they, hey man, how you doing? You know, I don't experience that. You know, I feel alarmed in that kind of situation, or otherwise I go into pseudo, you know, I slip into a pretense that, you know, I'm competent, capable, and self-assured. You know, so I just wanted to show you that, because, you know, it's also part of a fucking memory, and, you know, I'm getting to the slope now, where Baloo passed me by, you know, so you know, he was in a bit of a hurry, you know, he was striding out, so to speak, and it looked as though if he had a little bit of fear, or someone was prodding him, he'd been prodded into a course of action that he didn't particularly like, and whether that was because he was threatened or cajoled into that, you know, I don't really know, but I think it was somewhere just here. You know, I was walking up the centre of the footpath, and he walked along the side of the pathway, you know, rather quickly, and as though he was in avoidance, basically. He didn't want to make eye contact or anything along those lines, you know. So and there's also the good doctor, the psychiatrist at the hospital. I saw him at Eastside once or twice, and also on his push bike. He pulled up there one day, and he was open to have a conversation, but I just completely, I acknowledged him, but I just kept on my merry fucking way, so to speak. You know, so yeah. And another thing about those playground area. You know, I was coming back from downtown one day, you know, where I'd gone down in the morning, had voices in my head assuring me in a very gleeful and jubilant manner that I'd won the lottery. And, I got enthralled by that. You know, it was magical. You know, so somewhere just here the other day, there were a few people, and, I should go up and check out, because I dropped my fucking card off here the other day, see if there's anything being dropped off. You know, there was a pair of trousers in the tree here the other day. And this is my potty, so to speak. The sound shell. There were a few individuals standing over there the other morning when I walked past. And it doesn't appear to be anything dropped off or another sign. But anyway, the lottery, it didn't turn out I'd won, so I got bitterly disappointed. Here I was, someone that had never experienced fucking voices in their head, and then they led me on a merry dance, so to speak. My thoughts and actions after that disappointment were about trying to protest the fact that I felt as though they'd taken advantage of me, and I was willing to do something diabolical, if they ever did it again. So I think that was one of the first times that I ever got in touch with the anger and pain of, major disappointments in my early childhood. But due to that isolation of effect, and I think as well as the fact that I don't have a very lively or vibrant somatic self, where I've stored positive memories that are conducive to vibrancy and vitality and things along those lines. For me, it's more of a fucking act, so to speak. And a lady walked past here the other day and motioned to pull her jocks out of her fucking ass, with her head down, bowed like that, with a pair of sunnies on. That was odd, and that was on the way home. And there was a lady, an African lady, a short lady, with a child off her back. But these are all the, see how my fucking mind works? Flitters all over the place. There's nothing about being present in the moment, especially when I'm trying to present something. It's all over the shop. And that may always be the case. Hence the fucking medication and the diagnosis of schizophrenia. Because sometimes when I think that there's going to be an occasion of some sort in fantasy, I experience all those feelings of, joy and excitement and elation. But in reality, I can't muster that. I wouldn't know when I'd be able to tell you that, I've experienced that somatically, or whether I do experience it somatically and it goes straight up into my head, so, I got a bit self-conscious there a little while ago, coming down that slope, because there was an individual sitting there watching. He appeared to be kin, I'm experienced, I'm getting self-conscious again now. A lady with a couple of dogs was there the other day, so it's not as awe-inspiring doing this as to what I thought it was when I was experiencing affect this morning in regards to projecting about this. It seemed a lot more dynamic, but to actually put it into practice, it's a little bit more fucking droll, so to speak. I'm experiencing at times a certain degree of anxiety, especially about exposing myself, I guess, in this particular manner, talking with headphones on into a phone, and I'm aware that people could very well think that I'm just on a call, but I guess that guilt factor, that I'm trying to convey or something, not disturbing, compelling perhaps, so as I speak and talk about the symptoms of what usually I find really distressing, in the sense that I'm being a little bit vulnerable and things along those lines, talking about fragments of memory that have popped in my head over the last 7 or 8 fucking years, if not longer, from when I initially moved into Axe Care. So I walked across there the other morning and picked up a fucking nut outside the front of that work zone, and the lady with the dogs was walking across this intersection here, and she saw me pick up something. I don't know if she made out, was able to make out that it was a nut or something along those lines, and but she looked a little bit distressed, as if it had rocked her flow, so I'm approaching now where the dog barked at her dogs, and that kind of energy really I'm really, really sensitive to. It's sort of like are the forces from ages gone past going to be released upon me in an act of retribution or something along those lines. So the meds certainly help, in the sense that at least I'm able to sleep at night. But the more I've been able to talk about what it is that I experience and the deficits in it, and being okay with that, the better I've fared in regards to being able to recognise aspects of my psychosis. You know, so that just alarmed me. The guy caught me by surprise coming up behind me. He was talking on his phone as well, but he didn't have headphones in, so I must be the dumb part. But it's good to be able to, just take my time, I guess, and it's not as scintillating as what I thought it would be. I experienced a lot of vulnerability just thinking about doing something like this, and it's unfolding, but not as momentous as what it seemed like when I was initially captivated by the notion of it. I don't know if it'll herald anything of a positive nature for anyone else. There's always that part of me that's optimistic and hopeful that it could be perceived that way. But, once again, I'm so self-involved at the moment, I've neglected to be able to observe any other elements of people's conduct and behaviour, that's another thing, I guess, that part of me that wants to be in control of everything and wants to be attuned to that kind of force, that wreaks the ultimate sense of power and control and authority. That's how I perceive authority, where retribution is magnified tenfold, interesting. I was coming down here one day and frightened the fuck out of me. There was a lady parked just here in a little removal van or a hire van, and I got to thinking that she could be someone of note that I'd witnessed online, and part of that fractured sense of reality, where there's a lot of Machiavellian games and things along those lines. But another one of those odd things that stuck in my mind, because I thought that there was some kind of meaning to it. The lights have changed, but I'm not in a rush to get across. This is the centre of fucking Toowoomba. You've got Lincraft over there. You've got Gelatissimo over there. George Banks Bar and Bistro. That used to be Westpac. And that used to be the Bank of Queensland, but it's up for lease now. My venture is nearly over. I've just got to wait for these fucking lights to turn again. I thought of really hyping it up in the sense that, I was going to sit down right in the very guts of the town intersection, just for a few moments. I'm not feeling that fucking outrageous at present. Just going to make my way down to where I checked that lotto ticket, and because I believe that that's maybe due to the people that work there and their particular belief structures, that it may be a destination for Christians to purchase a lottery ticket. So East Side, and I think it's City News. But yeah, when I feel compromised, it's it's a really delicate experience, in the sense that I react like that car hitting the brakes a few moments ago, because I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. The sensitivity is really or the oversensitivity, or the sensitiveness is quite in full flow, so to speak. But I'm working my way through it. It's not like I'm avoiding the fact that I could be compromised. So fuck, it's been nearly half an hour and still going on. It'll take ages to upload onto the internet. But once again, I don't think it's as riveting as what I experienced in my mind this morning, and I really haven't been overly indicative of the shit that I can play in my mind as in regards to colours and symbols and street signs and all that kind of shit. So Central City fucking news. It's nearly there. So I get to listen to music, and that's where I feel a lot more comfortable on the way home. It'll be a lot better, so and I'll be able to take in more. But there it is. $10 million Tuesday. See ya.